Hi guys, it's us back again this lovely Monday afternoon. It's Love Reading with Joan, and once again we have
Jemima
and
Jedidah.
we're hoping to have some friends with us today reading. And once we get them on board and we sort out their volumes, we'll get on. Ayo, can you hear us?
Yes.
Oh, good, brilliant. It has worked. Well done. That's it. We've been having some technical things trying to get on board. And so today we have Ayo reading with us. Ayo is a lovely friend of ours, a very smart girl. She wants to be everything in the world. And we pray for her that she becomes everything she wants to, starting from being herself. So, right, Ayo, we'll have 5 minutes to read for us today. And before Ayo starts reading, Jed is going to continue with Hurricane Betsey, and Jem is going to continue with Science Geek Town. And so for kids on Zoom, we're going to turn the the laptop to you so you can see them, see Ayo reading. Ayo, so tell us the title of your book. Tell us the title of your book.
I'm going to be reading Mr. Muddle by Roger Hargreaves.
Oh, cool. All right, so Ayo, take it up and start reading.
Okay. Poor Mr. Muddle couldn't get anything right. Everything he did, everything he tried, everything he said was muddled. Totally, utterly, completely, absolutely muddled. Imagine, for instance, something as simple as hammering a nail into a wall. Now, what could get muddled with hammering a nail into a wall? Mr. Muddle could get it muddled and frequently did. Imagine, for instance, something as simple as putting on your coat. Now, what could get muddled with putting on your coat? Well, see for yourself. Only Mr. Muddle could put on his coat like that.
Oh, really? We can see that?
Imagine, for instance, something as simple as going for a walk. Now, what could get muddled about going for a walk? Well, when your legs start walking one way and you start walking the other way. That's a very muddly sort of walk. Poor Mr. Muddle walking one way and going the other.
Oh dear, it's such a muddle.
See what for is
Let's hear.
Where Mr. Muddle lives. In a house by the seaside near a place called Seatown. Mr. Muddle's house was supposed to be built in the country, but Mr. Muddle, who built the house himself, had got the place muddled, of course. And you could tell Mr. Muddle had built the house himself, can't he?
Oh dear.
This story starts one afternoon when Mr. Muddle was having his breakfast. Yes, we know that you don't have breakfast in the afternoon, but you do if you get your meal times muddled up. Mr. Muddle was having bread, butter, and jam, and a cup of tea with milk and sugar. He spread the butter on the table and spread the jam on the plate. And then he poured the milk on the bread and filled the cup with sugar. And then he poured the tea on the bread. What a terrible, muddly, mixed up breakfast. The afternoon after breakfast, he went for a walk down the beach near his house in order to work up an appetite for summer. He met an old fisherman called George, whom he knew quite well. Good afternoon, Mr. Muddle, said George. Good evening, replied Mr. Muddle. George smiled. How would you like to come fishing with me? He asked. Oh, no, please, replied Mr. Muddle eagerly. Help me push the boat out from the beach, called George. Right, you, said Mr. Muddle and pulled the boat further up onto the beach. Oh, Mr. Muddle, said George, and had to show Mr. Muddle the difference between pulling and pushing. They managed to get the boat out to sea.
Oh, I think we had a bit of disconnection there, but I was really enjoying the story of Mr. Muddle, how he was modeling up every single thing around. And so, kids at home, did you enjoy Mr. Mobblies? Did you enjoy it like we did? I think we're having fun because Aya's little brother, oh gosh, today is technology disaster. Aya's little brother was actually giving us a model. Oh, she's back. I'll try and get her back. She's back. Aya, can you start off where you stopped? There was a little break in transmission.
Okay. Now let's fish. Dropping a fish line over the side of the boat. Right, you said Mr. Muddle dropped himself over the side of the boat. Splash. Oh, Mr. Muddle, said George, again. It wasn't any good, and they didn't catch any fish, so they decided to go home before it became dark. Help me pull the boat up onto the beach, coached George. Right-o, said Mr. Muddle. I pushed the boat back into the water. George was about to say, oh, Mr. Muddle, again, when he had an idea to himself. He smiled to himself. Help me push the boat out to sea, George called. Right-o, said Mr. Muddle, and pulled the boat up onto the beach. Well done, Mr. Muddle, said George. Mr. Muddle smiled a smile and went home. George smiled a smile and went to tell everybody. The following day in Seaton, Mr. Brick the Builder asked Mr. Muddle to hold his coat for him. Right-o, said Mr. Muddle, and held his ladder for him, which is what Mr. Brick really wanted. Well done, Mr. Muddle, smiled Mr. Brick, who had been talking to George. Mr. Muddle was very pleased. Then Mrs. Scrub, the laundry, asked Mr. Muddle to pass her soap. Right here, said Mr. Muddle, and passed her a cloth bag, which is what Mrs. Scrub really wanted. Well done, Mr. Muddle, smiled Mrs. Scrub, who'd also be talking to George. Mr. Muddle was extremely pleased.
Wow, Mr. Muddle is happy.
Then Mr. Brick, the coal man, Muddle to lift a sack of coal down from his lorry. Right-o, said Mr. Muddle, and lift the sack of coal up onto his lorry, which is what Mr. Black really had wanted all along. Well done, Mr. Muddle, smiled Mr. Black. George had talked to everybody. Mr. Muddle was delighted. In fact, Mr. Muddle was so delighted that he decided to go home and cook himself a large meal to celebrate. Roast turkey and peas and potatoes and gravy. Put the turkey in the cupboard to cook. He peeled the peas and he put the potatoes in the refrigerator to boil. And then, do you know what he did? He tried to slice the gravy. Oh, Mr. Muddle. And that's the end of my
How do you slice the gravy?
How do you put potatoes in a fridge?
Boil.
Oh, that was a lovely read. Oh, thank you so much, Ayo. I loved every bit of it. Kids, I hope none of us is going to be modeled like Mr. Muddle. Right? We really enjoyed the story from Ayo today. Thank you for reading Mr. Muddle. Muddle? Mubble.
Muddle.
Mubble.
I
I got muddled inside with Mr. Muddle. Okay. All right. So, Jamie, are you going to play for us the music? I think you just play and then you read, and then we'll see if there's time for Jed to read today. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. Jamie is going to play the French horn today. Let's see how we go about that. Oh, Aya is logged out again. Hopefully she'll get back. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to play Bell Ringers Round.
Can you move here so everybody see you and move away?
I can't see my hand.
You can see your. Okay. You want me to hold that?
Okay.
All right, that's fine. Okay, come on. Wow, that was a bit technical. You know, when she was practicing, I was like, It looks like one of the nursery rhyme we used to sing when we were marching to class. When I was back home, and if we are going to class, there's this song we sing. If you know it and you know where I come from, it's called "My Cock is Dead, My Cock is Dead, My Cock is Dead,
My puppy's dead.
My cock is dead." So Jamie said that's a very sad song. So anyway, so Jerry's going to continue with Science Geek today. So
No, what about me?
no, you are wait. You will read after her. Let's start reading today. That's
Don't worry,
okay.
it's
No
fine.
worries, it's fine. Okay.
Okay.
You can't remember where you start. No, just start from. Please, may I sit down?
Here. I think I was here.
Yeah. So.
No, it's here. It's here.
Yeah, come on.
Instead, Rev Rich told us about a man 500 years ago who discovered lots of very interesting things about the universe. But he got into trouble because the church didn't approve of his ideas. The man's name was Galileo.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Gaga and the Forbidden Discovery.
So
Today,
Galileo is called Gaga. Like Lady Gaga. Okay, come on, read.
Today we've got Lady Gaga, but nearly 500 years ago lived a man whom we might call Mr. Gaga. Galileo Galilei. His dad wanted him to become a doctor, but Galileo preferred astronomy and maths and physics.
Thank you.
Kind of.
Alright, go on.
He invented lots of things, including a thermometer and a very useful mathematical compass. The telescope had, unfortunately, already been invented, but Galileo improved it greatly. With his telescope, he discovered new things about the universe. Here's an example. In those days, nearly everyone believed that the Earth was the center of the universe, that the sun circled around the Earth. Galileo discovered something very peculiar, which we won't find peculiar now. He discovered that Jupiter has small moons rotating around it. He thought, if this is the case, then perhaps the Earth rotates around the sun and other planets might do the same. Wow! God is helping me to discover all these exciting things. How cool is that? He wrote. But the church establishment wasn't very happy. What you say doesn't correspond with the Bible, the Pope said. Really, Galileo replied, but all I'm doing is showing you what a genius our Creator God is. Nonsense! Your message clashes with the Bible, so you aren't allowed to talk about it any longer. From now on, you're under house arrest.
Oh dear, that's bad.
Right. Well, in a way, you can understand why the Pope was angry if you knew that Galileo had in fact insulted him. In his book, there was a man who looked very much like the Pope, and Galileo called him Simplicio, which is a bit like calling him idiot. Oh well. Only about 20 years ago, just before the year 2000, the Pope said, Galileo was right. We should never have condemned him. very long ago.
Not very long ago. That would be the present Pope, not the old one.
Yeah, not the old
Yeah,
one.
come on.
You
Yeah.
like 500 now.
Yeah.
Jumbled words. Galileo had a cool and clever way of writing things down. He shuffled letters to make a new sentence. Have you heard of an anagram?
Have you? Kids, have you heard of an anagram? Any one of you? No. Yeah, come on.
It's a jumbled word or phrase. You just keep on shuffling the letters until you get a new word or phrase. I have my own one.
What?
Lemon and melon.
Lemon and melon. Lelem. Lelem.
Lemon. Lemon
Lemon and
and
lemon.
melon.
Mm.
Lemon and melon. Because if you swap the M and the L around,
Oh,
you get
yeah.
melon.
It's too technical. Let's go on. Yeah.
The following anagrams are things you can eat. Answers at the bottom of the page.
Okay.
Smoothed as pate is mashed potatoes. Thin dish chaps is fish and chips. And carb eaters flakes is breakfast cereals.
Oh dear. Okay, continue.
So weird.
It's very weird, yes.
It's fun to hide food in an anagram. Anagrams can also be really useful for hiding secrets. Say, for instance, I really like Chrissy, but I don't want anyone to know about it. I can write in my diary, yell, tear risky chili, or chili year is kilter, or even kill rare chesty lie. You see? And nobody will ever find out. I think Sam doesn't actually like Chrissy.
Really?
I think he does.
Yeah. Okay.
We might find out.
We'll find out.
With the aid of his telescope, Galileo discovered things that nobody else in the world knew anything about. For example, Saturn had 2 spots. Even with his telescope, Galileo couldn't make out that they were actually part of the ring. And Venus looked a bit like the moon. You could only see the part that was lit up by the sun, as is the case with the moon. When Galileo was alive, there was no internet to upload your discoveries. Printing a book was very expensive. What do you think people did when they discovered something special? They sent a letter, to a famous scientist. But you had to be extremely careful. What if the scientist read your letter and then claimed that he had made the discovery? This is where anagrams come in. That's why Galileo hid his discoveries in anagrams. That way, he could always prove later that it was he who made the discovery. Very clever. Some anagrams are practically impossible to work out. Try solving these 2. Harsh, bitter, wet heritage. Clue, grab your umbrellas.
Okay.
The great British weather.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Rubbish.
What's the second one?
We all rely on a boy often. No danger. Clue, famous British sportsman. Wayne Rooney, England footballer.
Wow. That's quite tricky. So kids, I think I learned something very special today about anagrams. And I learned about the famous scientist, astronomist, who discovered a lot of things about the earth. And what is his name? That is the question today. What is the name of the scientist that discovered a lot of things? If you know it, raise up your hands. Oh. Galileo, well done. So I have a bonus question. What is used to hide things? If you don't want anybody to know and you try to disguise what you're writing in your diary. Chimdi. Yeah, come on, tell us. What's it called? Anybody remember? Okay, you have to watch it again and tell me, and then you win a prize. Meanwhile, when it comes to prize, we decided to put together all the winners of the month of April. So we had to collect how many times you won, how many times you won. And for the whole month of April, today is 27th. We just said figuratively at the end of April. So for the whole of month of April, we had 3 top winners. The first is Ayo. Well done, Ayo. You won you won first place. And then the second place is Ada. Well done, Ada.
Ada and Chimdi.
Ada and Chimdi is the third winner. So well done. We already packaged your prize. You will get it in the post if you're outside where we live. And for those that live around, I would have to drive to your house someday. Okay, anyway, so thank you for answering all the questions. So keep it coming. We'll start collating the answer for the month of May. And then we'll tell you who the winner is towards the end of May. Are we glad we are doing this? We glad we are doing this. We glad we are doing this. We glad we are doing this. Yeah. Anyway, girls, you kids, you enjoy your gift. So Jed wants to read just one single page because I'm not going to rest tonight if she doesn't read anything. So Jed, is that where you stop? So Jed is going to read just one page of Hurricane Betsey. Please listen. Yeah.
This is a hurricane update. The hurricane has changed course and is now heading out to sea.
Wow.
Repeat. The hurricane is changed course and is now heading out to sea.
Wow.
Thank goodness for that. Grandma Liz gave a sigh of relief. We're still going to get stormy weather for a while, but at least the hurricane won't be passing this way, said Mum. Okay, everyone, let's start unpacking the boxes and putting everything back in its place. Betsey sprang up the sofa and ran to the nearest box. I'll help, let me help, she said, picking up the box, which was filled with a few cups and saucers wrapped in a newspaper. Betsey whirled and twirled with the box in her hand. The hurricane has gone! The hurricane has gone! She grinned, but because of the box, Betsey didn't see that she was heading straight for police.
Oh dear.
No, Betsey, don't. Too late. Betsey tripped over Prince and the box of cups and saucers in her hands went flying into the air to land with an enormous smash! Crash! All the crockery in the box was shattered.
Oh dear. Oh no, Betsey. Hurricane Betsey. So I have a question. Where was the hurricane heading to?
Turkey.
That's
Who's
hard.
the first person to answer? There was an announcement. The hurricane was heading somewhere. Where was he heading to?
If you were listening, you would know
No.
the answer.
Now, if you don't know the answer, kids, don't worry. No pressure. Just rewind and go to Facebook and watch it again. You can go to our YouTube and we are reading with Job on YouTube. And if you can go to your Instagram or your parents' phone, we are also there. So we have multiple channels for you to read with us on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Facebook. And definitely you can zoom in and have a nice time with us on Reading with Joan. We'll see you tomorrow, kids. And I hope you had a lovely smack crash. Bye-bye.
Hurricane Betsey.
Hurricane Mommy.